Are we filming? Yes, we are. Okay, so today I want to talk about the Filofax 3CL, which is a slimline Filofax, and I want to talk about the pros and cons and why I like this so much. Well, the slimline goes back a long way, but today I'm just going to focus on the 80s and 90s. So this particular model is from the early 1980s, and as you can see, it says Filofax 3CL real calf made in England, and it has these two stylized pockets which on a good day will fit inside each other, so hopefully making a flush writing surface. So this one is heavily used, and the leather has ended up out of alignment, but that's pretty normal with these. And there's another full-length pocket on this side, so hence the 3CL designation. 3 pockets, calf leather. This one back in the early 80s was only available in calf leather, in black and brown. There was a vinyl version as well, which had 5 pockets rather than the 3. It had 2 additional small pockets. Later on, there was a kid leather version that was introduced around about 1984, and there was also a Montana calf version. To be honest, I don't know the difference between calf leather and Montana calf. I really don't. If anyone does, then please let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate that. We had a kid leather one with gold plated corners, and these ended up being available in burgundy and red and green and blue. I'd like to get hold of some colours, but luckily my favourite colour is black, so I'm spoilt for choice when it comes to vintage binders. Pigskin was available 1987, and then in 1988 there was a box calf version that appeared. And to be honest, I don't know what the difference is between box calf and Montana calf and calf leather is either, but I need some help there. So there was lots of different, all through the 80s, there were lots of different leathers, and there was lots of different colours. And this design, this actual design with these stylised pockets, 2 on the left and 1 here, continued all the way up without any change until 1992. And come 1992, let me illustrate it with I'm just going to give you an example. Okay, so this is a Kensington, but the pocket design of this Kensington is very, very similar to the design of the slimline that came out in 1992. So this style of pockets continued all the way up to 1992, and then it changed to this type of pockets. I'm not sure which I prefer, to be honest. This is more useful, perhaps, because it's got a full-length pocket, and it's got another full-length pocket here, and then 6 card slots. But let's not confuse the issue with this Kensington for the moment. This particular one doesn't have the Filofax logo on the ring mechanism. It is super. It's an absolute delight to use. I don't know who made it, but whoever made it, and it's just a lovely thing. Not the best I've come across. The best one I've come across from a vintage Filofax is a Gilmex version, but this is pretty good. So it is a nice thing. And this particular one, well, let's talk about flatability, because flatability is not something that is always synonymous with vintage Filofaxes, particularly if they've been sitting in a drawer and the leather has dried. But why do I like this? Why is this perhaps of many slimline models I have, why is it the most, why is it my favourite? Well, it is on this particular one, the flatability is excellent. I have got some of these where there is no flatability at all, and you can open it like that, and when you let go it will go back like that, like a clamshell, because they are so stiff. But this one works, and I don't know how much use this has had, but look at this, look at the wear and tear there and here. Now that isn't done without some heavy use, and you know, it's been a working tool, and I like that, and people know that I don't go a bundle on immaculate Filofaxes. I find them more attractive if they've been used, and this one has definitely been used in anger. That's my theory anyway, and I'm sticking to it. So with this particular one, you've got that subtle and enviable combination of very, very hard wearing leather. This leather will still be around in a couple of 100 years, even if the mechanism may not be around. But do you know what? I just think that even though there is heavy wear, such heavy wear on this one that it's actually worn through, on a vintage Filofax, that is an attractive trait. If this was plastic coated leather and it was showing the cardboard substrate underneath, that would not be an attractive proposition for me whatsoever. But with this kind of construction where it's all leather, proper calf leather, some wear and tear like that, it adds to the charm, as they say. I don't have a problem with that. And whoever has used this has done me a favour in the past, because they have, you know, exercised this to the point of, for me, guaranteed flatability without me having to lift a finger to faff about with trying to train the leather. God, dear, that just gets me so frustrated. If I buy a binder and I'm expecting it to have good flatability and it doesn't have the flatability that I expect, but there's no problem here. These slip pockets, if you like, they should fit, but they're clearly not here, and that's, you know, that's synonymous with the wear and tear that this Filofax has had. And to be honest, it doesn't really matter, so long as you've got a fly sheet, a dashboard, if you like, so that you can write on this side. It's not really an issue, but it is something to bear in mind. Once or twice I've found myself not using the pockets, and I'm not a fan of pockets, to be honest, and I found myself using it upside down for that very, very purpose, to avoid the awkward lines that make writing difficult unless you've got several thicknesses of paper to lean on as you're writing. I think it's it's obviously a mass-produced thing. These were made in large quantities, and you know, it's not a custom thing that is lovingly made to one's individual specifications. But do you know what? It is all the better for it, because they're consistent. The quality and the size and the shape are consistent, and the the mechanisms they used back in the day. The only time I've ever had problems with a mechanism is if someone has poorly packaged them when they've sent them through the post, and but that's a story for another day, perhaps. But a really, really nice thing. Can't say any more. But I like this. I like these a lot, and in fact, I use. If it's a choice between, I'll give you an example. I know a lot of people like larger rings, so they will try and change the rings from 23 millimeters to 30. In old money, that's 7/8. They will move from 7/8 to 5/4 or 1 1/4. I sometimes think that rather than have one big filofax with the obvious difficulties as a left-handed person as I'm writing, with large 30 millimeter or 5/4 rings, it's worth considering. Certainly, it's something that I do now and again. Just have 3 of these, or even 2 of these, but maybe 3 of these. If you have 3 of these instead of a large 30 millimeter or 5/4 filofax, you can use the same amount of paper, and you'll end up with being able to have fewer dividers. So you have maybe a diary in one, and your other stuff. Have one as a diary, one as an address book, and one as a to-do list. That would work for me, something like that, rather than trying to cram everything in one. These are incredibly useful, and they're not rare. Sometimes you see eBay adverts saying rare, 3CL, rare. Well, they're not rare. They're very, very. They're 2 a penny, and well, perhaps a little bit more expensive than that. But I like them. And I've enjoyed sharing my thoughts with you today. Thank you for watching. It's not exactly a review, is it? But I just wanted to share some thoughts about the 3CL, which was such a long-running filofax, and still available at least in different form today. But I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.